Welcome to Under Glass. I'm Ryan Douglas, and today's episode, Uncredentialed. So when I started my greenhouse growing career decades ago, I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I was a water boy. And I mean that in the literal sense of the word. 6 or 7 hours out of every 8-hour work shift, I had a garden hose in my hand. Right? The other hour I was sweeping aisles or filling pots with soil. So not really glamorous work, and honestly, sometimes I was bored. Here's what I didn't realize at the time, is that standing in that greenhouse, garden hose in my hand, wet boots and all, looking at every single plant in that greenhouse every single day, I was receiving an education that no classroom could have given me. Right? I was learning what a healthy crop looks like. I was learning what a struggling crop looks like, and I was learning the cost of my mistakes in real time. What happens if I don't water some plants one day? What happens if I overwater some plants one day? What happens if I water on a regular schedule, but I don't use fertilizer? Meanwhile, in that same greenhouse in the break room, they had years worth of back issues of different greenhouse magazines. And so I would photocopy those articles, bring them home, organize them by topic into a 3-ring binder, and then study that stuff at night and on the weekends. So I was doing both. I was touching plants during the day, and then I was studying the science at night. Here's the thing. A university will teach you what you need to know, but a greenhouse will teach you what you need to know to keep those plants alive. And those two things aren't the same. Because theory without experience, right, without soil under your fingernails, it feels abstract. Experience without theory can feel like guesswork. And if you think about it, even the best college horticulture programs here in the US, in the best universities, students are typically only working with a few plants at a time, or at most a table or a couple tables as part of an experiment. If those plants die, it adds valuable context to the report that they're working on or the paper that they're writing, right? Now, in the real world, we're usually working with tens of thousands of plants, if not hundreds of thousands of plants. And if those die, there are very real and immediate financial ramifications. So when I started managing greenhouses and hiring growers myself, I never hired anyone solely based on the fact that they had a university horticulture degree. Not because that doesn't matter, but because a university transcript can only tell me whether or not someone studied horticulture. It doesn't tell me if they know how to grow a crop, because that only comes from living with the consequences of your own decisions. That's the real education.